So do I want to spew more gold before the rank reset? I do. I do. Shogun Scepter versus Torches. Very interesting. It's probably Torch. Shogun Scepter is a very powerful card. Any tips for draft for a beginner? Oh, jeez. What kind of beginner are you? Have you never drafted in any card game ever? Because there's a lot. There's a lot that goes into learning how to draft. There's just so many concepts in terms of card evaluation, deck building, and that's before you even get to playing the games. So to kind of encompass all of that's really hard to do. I really recommend, like, the best way to learn to draft is experience. So drafting yourself and watching others' drafts is by far the best way to get better at draft. When I first started playing Magic, I got better by just watching other people do it. And I'm not saying the people that make draft videos or draft are the best or know everything, but they know things that you can learn from. And then you can kind of apply your own ideas and styles to it. Yeah, limited resources isn't made for Eternal, but they're a podcast for Magic, and they have a lot of sort of concept episodes where it's just like tenets of card evaluation, the quadrant theory, what cards are good, what cards are bad, you know, sort of general things, and I think those still translate very well to Eternal. And yeah, I do a set review show we have everything but Shadow and Multi-Faction done on Neon's Eternal Cast, so you can check that out. You can hear me rant about cards, and some of it's a little outdated at this point just because cards are changing, but still I go, on certain cards, I go into why I think they're bad or why I think they're good. I mean, there's also resources out there that's, you know, have card grades, like I know RNG help that out. Difference between Twitch Prime and Twitch Turbo is apparently... I have Amazon Prime, and now I have Twitch Prime. I'm going to take Torch, though. It's just a powerful card. And then, next pack. Stormcaller doesn't really go with Torch, but Stormcaller is the best card in this pack, other than maybe Seek Power. Outblast is an underrated card, I find. It's like a very solid card. Also, I still don't know if this is correct to choose over Shogun Scepter, by the way. Shogun Scepter is like a really good card. Yeah, the pick order is a place to start. When he made that, he contacted me and 3 of the other top-ranked drafters, and basically was just like, if it's pick one, pack one, what would you grade this? So keep in mind those cards are like, yeah. That the list was made back before certain nerfs and buffs happened, so keep that in mind. Yeah, I took Torch over Scepter. I like that Torch is more splashable in a pick one pack one situation. Yeah, I disagreed with the other raiders on a lot of cards, but that's fine. Everybody kind of had their own style. I rated pretty much all of the equipment lower than everybody else, and I rated like more costly mid-range threats higher than everyone else. I wasn't quite as high on some of the early aggressive cards, but just at that point I wasn't playing aggressive style decks that much, and I think that was right before Deathstrike got moved to common and then got moved back to uncommon, and that really shook the meta up both ways. I'm just going to take Stormcaller. It's just a powerful card. I don't really want to be Skycrag necessarily, but I'm just going to take the strong card and kind of go from there. Ruthless Stranger and Sky Snapper are what we're looking at in this pack, because it's just awful. Like, Ghost Form's terrible. Spore Folk is essentially a 1-2 for 2. Direwood Rampager and Carnosaur Behemoth are both... I mean, Carnosaur Behemoth's the least playable, but this card is just like, it dies to everything, and it costs 6. Yeti Spy is just not worth a card in your deck. Like, a 1-1 for 1 is just not a good card, and so you have to play a really bad card up front, and then hit your opponent, and then you get to replace that card you just played. It's just, jump through so many hoops for such a low payoff. Heavy Axe, like I said, I'm low on weapons, so Ruthless Stranger is a nice aggressive card, but you have to be aggressive. So I'm just going to take Sky Snapper. Flying is king. Evasion is king. Sometimes you just play a Sky Snapper, they don't have an answer, and you win the game. Okay. This is the opposite of last pack. This pack has a bunch of great cards. Swift Stranger, 2-2 charge, gives your strangers charge. Fine. Yeah, I think Ruthless Stranger is a good card. Frontline Stock Collapse is a card I find a lot of people underrate. A 6/6 is really hard to deal with. You're just going to be attacking with it anyways. It's got Warcry. Sweet. Then there's some gold cards, or 2-color cards that were 2 faction cards that we're interested in here. Terry Hatchling and Gorgon Swiftblade are both very good cards. Pair great with this. And then there's also an Execute, which is not premium removal, but pretty good removal. You know, it'll take care of business generally. I'm looking at these two cards. Leaning more towards Gorgon Swiftblade. In a vacuum, Hatchling is better. There's also an argument for Execute in that if we don't end up Primal and like somehow get back on track with Fire, we can still go Stone Scar, which is Fire Shadow. Where, yeah, we lose out on the Swiftblade, but if we end up in Feln, Execute's still playable in Feln, obviously. So as I was just talking about these, I think I kind of actually talked myself into Execute. Where it's just one of those things where it straddles the line of it's not that much less powerful than some of our other options, and it leaves us very flexible. And I like being flexible, like compromising on flexibility and power. Other people's draft styles, they're just gonna be like, we're gonna take Feln, and now we're forcing Feln, and we just want this Gorgon Swiftblade is gonna work out. That's not quite my style. I like to try and stay open and figure out what the packs are telling me to draft. So we'll take this Execute and kind of see where it goes from there. We get a Cloud Snake Carrier here, so we can just stay in Primal. 3/3 flying just for itself for 4 is a great deal. The summon effect almost you'll never make use of, but occasionally you will, like 1 in 100 times, and it's pretty cool when that happens. Levitate's also a fine role player. Unlock potential can be good, but we just got past the feeding time. So yeah, we'll take the premium removal. Sure, it's a little slow, but it takes care of your problems. It goes with this Execute. And we'll take the Lightning Strike. I don't mind Life Drinker either. Feln can have a lot of issues with units with Aegis, like Protect and stuff like that. And Life Drinker does fill that need. But I think Lightning Strike's just a little bit better. It's cheaper. Yes, it's a bit more conditional in terms of when you can use it. But this more so shines on like the Stone Scar side of things. We'll go with Lightning Strike. Pick up a nice late Lethrai Ranger and be very happy about it. There's maybe a world where we want this Veteran Mercenary where we end up 3 factions, but I don't mind having a Spirit Drain around. It's not the best card in the world to play, but it's fine. Sabotage, same thing, it's fine. Take the Gruon here. We're more likely to need one of those than an Arachnodon. Sometimes you end up with a lot of flyers in Feln and you have nothing to actually hold down the ground. Both those cards are garbage. Shamanic Trance is broken, but not in draft. So we could take the Torch and try and splash 2 torches. Take the Harsh Rule because it's Harsh Rule and just somehow find a way to play it. I don't think I like either of those ideas. It's pretty early, so we could take the Static Bolt and try and, you know, get rolling with Static Bolts. We'd be at the start of Pack 2. Just kind of roll with that. But I really like Elysian Trailblazer. And we have a bunch of really good spells already. So it's pretty appealing to just take the Trailblazer. But this whole pack is really strong. Like, there's only a couple cards I would consider weak, like these 2 here. There is an argument for Torch, but we already have, like, a Lightning Strike and an Execute. And, like, I don't know, we already have a lot of damage-based removal, so this kind of starts becoming less appealing. Or I think Trailblazer is just super high value in this deck. I really like just... It's a nice form of card advantage. How did that pack go? We saw some late Shadow. This feeding time was late. Yeah, we're pretty set on Feln. Torch is a very good card. I just don't know how much this deck like really like wants that effect anymore. I'm gonna be probably a little controversial here and take the Trailblazer. Ravenous Thornbeast, though, I don't think there'll be any controversy about that pick. You're going to be real happy to pick it. Ooh. Now this is tough. Warband Chieftain is an awesome card. I have just been so impressed by this card. That being said, there's also just a Wisdom of the Elders here, and like I said, card advantage can be hard to come by. Again, it just makes Trailblazer better. We can just try and play a nice controlling style. It makes stuff like Lightning Strike better, and if we pick up Backlashes, they get better as well. We just get to hold up power and kind of figure out what we want to do with it later. Warband Chieftain has been incredibly impressive for me, though. I'm just gonna stay conservative, though. Oh, Plague! Plague is great. Oh, I love Plague. This just dominates certain board states and just gets you out of messes that you have no reason to get out of. Here we'll take Serpent Trainer. Nice little win con. And we'll pass up on this Wisdom here. Wild Cloud Snake, I'm typically not looking to play. But there's really nothing else in the pack except maybe this Daze. Maybe we end up with a bunch more flyers and Wild Cloud Snake ends up making the cut. So Cobalt Acolyte and Serpent Trainer are insane, but if we end up with a lot of flyers, Beast Caller's Amulet just kind of wins games by itself. Wow, this pack is nuts. This is insane. Like I rate these as basically the best primal cards. But this can just give you free wins. These are both more consistent than Beast Caller's Amulet, but we're not really lacking consistency here. Where this just is like a swingy huge win con, which also has its appeal. Man, Cobalt Acolyte's so good, though. It's really hard for me to ever pass up Cobalt Acolyte. If we end up playing the Wild Cloud Snake, like, that's all the more reason to play this Beast Caller's Amulet. This card's so good in Feln. Like, there's sometimes you just have games where you go, you know, the 1/3 flyer for on turn 2, and then turn 3, just make it a 2/3 flyer and get a 5/5. But Cobalt Acolyte's just also very good in that, like, Lethrite Ranger into Cobalt Acolyte's also just absurd. And sometimes you go Ravenous Thornbeast. This is tough. This is such a tough pack. We have enough flyers that that the Beast Caller's Amulet is correct, but man, I think it can go either way. I really do. I don't know what the correct pick was there. I just kind of went for the uncommon because why not? Sure, Violent Gust. Don't think we're going to play 2 Violent Gusts, but we'll take that one. Plague number 2. I have no idea if... Does Plague get better in multiples? Do you just take the Sky Snapper? I've never had the opportunity to draft 2 Plagues. I just don't know. I feel like it does. Right? Let's find out. Harbinger's Bite gets a little bit worse if we're planning on playing 2 Plagues. Seems less necessary. Rapid Shot's sweet, but Gorgon Fanatic can, this early on, can kind of open up some other fun windows into life. Especially if you get a couple more Cobalt Acolytes. It's card draw. Could use card draw. Rapid Shot's really good, though. We have some okay removal. We don't have any tricks yet. I'm going to go with the Fanatic just because they're harder to pick up. Oh, man. Oh, now I have to take this, right? There's a Lethrite Ranger and a Lightning Strike. I kind of just want to go deep. I think if we're drafting correctly, we're taking Lightning Strike or Lethrite Ranger, but we're not. We're going to draft for fun. I do almost have no 2-drops. You're correct. I'm going to take the Feln banner here. Feln Stranger. Dude, there's 3 premiums in this pack. I'm going to take Gorgon Swiftblade here. We just don't need more clunky stuff at 3. We need a good 2-drop. Eastwind Herald, there's some arguments that it's better because of Beast Caller's Amulet, but Gorgon Swiftblade can just, like, take over games. Serpent Trainer? Like, I know our curve's wonky. Wonky is the word I'm looking for, but, like, if they get out ahead early, we've got, like, 2 Plagues and some Lightning Strikes. just shore this up. I could take the knife jack. I think we might end up needing it more. Yeah, Hey, buddy! Oh. Ooh, this is actually tough. Levitate's really good in this deck. This is a good draft. I'll just say that. This is a good draft. We might have too many good cards. It's a problem. I might play this Daze over the Serpent Trainer. Psych. This deck is great. Felm was open. Got paid off. Alright, so this draft is like the opposite of our last draft. This is the rare draft deck that has both synergy and powerful cards. 3 Serpent Trainers, Frostkick. Jesus. Let's just start cutting the bad cards, I guess, and we'll figure out the rest from there. Get out of here, Cloud Snake. Dude, Wild Cloud Snake with the Haunting Scream synergy. Oh my god. Get out of here, Knife Jack. We still have to make more cuts. How did Legion Trailblazer sneak around there? I want to play Trailblazer just to give Haunting Scream Echo. It seems like highly unnecessary in this deck, though. Oh, is there a new Strangler there? Okay. Oh, and a Violent Gust can definitely go. Can both Violent Gusts go? Probably. Is there, like, any reason to have conditional flyer removal? It is nice and that'll let us, like, get our flyers through. What about Devour? What's Devour doing? I don't think we need Devour, right? We're almost always going to be giving our units flying, right? Do we have too many 4-drops? Do I like somehow need to trim down on the 4 power cards? I think they're all just really good. Maybe we... It's one of those things where Stormcaller, I don't know if it gets better or worse with Plague in the deck, you know? Like, it's more likely to be able to kill stuff if we hit one of our Plagues, right? Trailblazer just is probably largely unnecessary. Yeah, I think this is the deck. This is 17 cards. It's nice, streamlined, has a clear plan. Every piece is doing things. Oh, you don't like Cloud Snake Harrier? I think just the 3/3 flyer is good enough. The 4-drop slot is busy. It's a question of, do we want to run 18 power instead of a Cloud Snake Harrier? Maybe. But I think I would like this say more than, like... Yeah, I think this deck is fine with running 17. I don't think it's going to have issues. Running 17 power, a Levitate, a Felm Stranger. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we need to run 18. Maybe a Legion Trailblazers is better than the 3/3 flyer in this deck. I don't think so. Like, we're not even playing the Sky Snapper. Pretty good deck. So, 0-3 incoming. 0-3 incoming. Sabotage might just be good, too. We're going to win in some games in a very disgusting manner. Oh, there's an Elysian Stranger we're not playing? One, two, three, 4 2-drops, 2 lightning strings. I think that's fine. We're gonna like this. You have nothing that's double shadow, right? What's the card type breakdown? Very nice. 17 units, 10 spells, 1 attachment. It's where I like to be in Felm typically. Seems like all the numbers hit the right number. 18's a little on the high side in Felm, I find. No Dark Returns is really awkward. Haunting Scream lows Dark Return to go with it, but I think that's, you know, I think we got everything else we could possibly hope for. So, whatever. I think we'll just be content.